What episode are we on?
Everyone. Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
Episode 153.
I'm Bethany, this is Sparky, and this adorable puppy I haven't met before is S'mores. That's right, kiddos. You can name a new puppy S'mores.
And then you might want some more.
So cute.
All right. You want to go with the big one first? Get us going?
Sure. Liz says, hi, I have a 7-month-old lab, and she's pretty good, but, where's my butt? I lost the butt. Here we go. But sometimes on walks, are you trying to help? If I don't let her go a certain way, she wants to start to attack me and won't stop. It's only been happening a few days now, but I want to try and get it under control as soon as possible because she's latching on, doesn't let go. It's caused some pretty bad cuts and bruises. So Liz, this is pretty serious. This is a 7-month-old lab that's clearly out of control.
It's not as playful now as what it once may have been, especially when they're a puppy and they're not as big. Once you get latching and holding, that's a bit of a different world.
So like everybody's like, oh, they'll grow out of it. Yeah, they might go through a phase where they won't bite as much. But
I don't think they're going to grow out. I think they're going to eventually attack someone.
But a lot of times it cycles back around. So here's the thing. We're going to give you really specific advice for the walks itself. But I do want to do like a quick checklist. Are they calm when you put your shoes on? Are they calm when you get the leash? And I don't mean like super calm. I mean like puppy, I'm happy and excited, but I'm sitting on place waiting for you.
It's like getting wiggle butt, but a sitting wiggle butt.
Yes.
Like you can't stop the energy all entirely, but at least you can control a small portion of it.
And you can correct excitement. Like just do some body pressure, like, hey, calm down, wait them out, holding the leash. Go to leash them up. They wiggle it. No, pull the leash, pause for a second. Have them lay down, like really take your time in the pre-process. How do they come out of crate? Maybe they wait in crate, but when you say, okay, let's go, they fly out of it. Like get them on a leash, make them go back inside, do a few repetitions till they walk out of crate.
Yep.
Start slowing your puppy down. Sorry, I just pulled up Instagram. Start slowing your puppy down before you even get out on the walk. Otherwise, the advice that we're about to give you for the walk itself, you'll be more likely to see them challenge you back, and you'll probably see that anyway, but it'll start to spill over into other areas, or it may not work at all because there's all these transitional moments throughout the day that you're not practicing calmness, respect, leadership.
I worked with the dog this morning, like pretty much identical to what you're saying. Jumps up, instead of biting, it grabs the legs and just starts going to town on me. So it's kind of like a different style, but it's all still dominance. It's still a very pushy puppy.
Controlling, trying to control the situation.
Very much so.
Yeah.
What I did this morning was different than anything I've ever done, which was, not ever, but for this dog, I pulled him out of the crate. I put on all my gear. The dog was on a slip leash, so it's a simple head control collar. And when the dog came out, I just let him do its thing. I let him do what he's been doing for all the other trainers for the last month. And he blasted out of the crate, tried to shoot out the door, hit the end, bounced back, and then looked at me and shot out the door again. No understanding of energy and how to release it in a more productive way. What we did is we did exactly what she said. We went back inside the crate. I closed the door, I opened it, and I started noticing he was getting a little bit more pushy. I didn't notice it before because I wasn't low enough, but he would inch towards the edge of the crate, and right when I look away, I look back and there's a little paw on the edge. So I started slowly closing the door. We don't want to squish the paws, and he would back it away, and when he was fully relaxed and I could take off the slip, pause, put it on, pause, then I started doing the let's go to get him out of the crate. We went back and forth about 6 or 7 times. And by the 7th time, when he came out, he didn't blast out the door. He came out, sat, looked at me, stood up. I reverbalized my sit. He did it. And then we waited for about 5 seconds, and then we walked out together. It changed the first 10 minutes of my walk. After 10 minutes of the walk, he did kind of go crazy again because I was only able to get about 10 minutes of calm out of him with that warm-up routine. But then I make sure to end on a good note. So next time I walk this dog, I'll know to do all that same stuff. But I'm going to start slowing him down and trying to make it back to the puppy academy by the 9.5, 10-minute mark, knowing that that's when he's exhausted so I can end on a good note. These are the things I look for when I'm working high energy dogs is give them a good warm up. work them and start looking for signs of exhaustion, because you're going to get more of that frustration biting when they get tired and they just want to end the training part of the walk so they can go crazy. Try to end it at home by then.
Because all that stuff, that we mentioned is mental work, and you need more mental work in order to be able to address the situation and for it to land and actually stick with the dog. What I would do as soon as my dog started doing that, it's got to be head control. It can't be flat collar. You could use a martingale, but another type of training tool would be better where you have some head control. I wouldn't go the gentle leader route. He'd probably get way too upset with that in the state that he's in. Yeah. But you got to get some sort of head control. And the moment I try to go this way and he doesn't want to, and then he starts to bite me, I'm doing very firm pressure up, out, and away from me. And probably with a 7-month-old lab, I would two-hand it, not because I need to lift him off the ground. We say this all the time, but we have to keep saying it. We're not lifting the dog up off the ground. Sometimes they jump because they put their head down and they jump up.
If their paws tuck into their body, sometimes it's not you lifting them up, it's them trying to push their head down, and their paws come up instead.
But they'll come back down. So you're not lifting them up, but you are giving enough pressure to make them a little uncomfortable. I mean, this is serious. This is not some little puppy training advice we're giving. This is
7 months is an adolescent dog reaching adulthood.
Yep.
And these ear issues don't go away, in my opinion, because we see them when they don't.
And it's a serious issue. And so I would handle that very firmly. No pressure. Puppy gets a little uncomfortable. But here's the key. And then he stops. You relax pressure. You take a few steps, he probably does it again. It's probably going to take 3, 4, 5 times, honestly, for your first time doing this. But for me, I also need you to do another part of this. I need you to add food back in the mix if you've taken food away, because he's been doing pretty good. Because I need your walk to be a working walk. Even if you won't take food, you've got it on you, and it's 3 steps, stop and sit, pause, food, if he'll take food. 5 steps, stop and sit. 10 steps, turn, let's go, stop and sit, down, stay, do a stay, circle around the dog, let's go. Like, turn it into a working walk. And especially when you feel, like before the escalation, you start to feel the resistance, you need to start to change the neural pathways in the brain that have developed this habit. So in order to do that, you actually have to start to catch it early before it escalates, and pivot. And that's by working him, not trying to go for a walk. So try that. Let us know how it goes, and keep us posted.
And anytime you see that hyper focus kick in while you're doing the 1-step pause sit, 2-step, the 3-step thing she just said, it's instant pivot. Let's go, change directions.
Yep, change
and when
directions,
you can start getting focus again, meaning that they're not looking and rubbernecking behind, then you're ready to start adding food back in again.
Okay, we're gonna try to be briefer when we answer the rest of these.
That was a big one though. That was a really important question.
So we've got a lot of questions on puppy biting. Where's my, you've got it. Okay, give it that. All right, a lot of questions on puppy biting. I'm gonna start with Daryl because he's actually someone here. And it's, how do you stop aggressive puppy biting causing injury, hands and arms? I have a 4-month-old, but he's already 35 pounds because he's a Labrador. Yep. So, Daryl, you have access to our online school. We looked you up.
We made sure to look, so we weren't just giving you bad info.
We looked you up, and you already have access to our online school. So if you go to the bonus section, there are
library.
She said bonus section.
Isn't it bonus in the library, or is it separate from the library?
It's separate from the library in a bonus section, and it is 2 hours worth of going over different scenarios of puppy biting and how to handle it. Okay, so you definitely have got some homework to do to really dive into that. The short version, because we got quite a few questions on puppy biting, so the short version, without a lot of context from, I should have looked up where some of my other biting questions are so I could reference.
Well, let me reference leash, the one we answered previously. By the way, the online school, for the issue that you're having, we even discussed in one of those videos, the one she's recommending to this other gentleman, we have a dog jumping up and biting at our clothes and our hands, just like your dog is on the walk, and we show how to work away from that, how to work the dog off of you.
So like Lynn says, puppy barking at me when I say no or stop him from biting me. How can I stop this? So there's just going to be a lot of puppy biting questions. So obviously I just mentioned the online school. Hello, people, come on now, get on a program.
Well, that's it.
They could not find the bonus area. So they are live and they could not find the bonus area. Okay, that's something that we can talk to you about one-on-one. since we have access to you. so we'll definitely address that. Thanks for letting us know. For just a general topic of puppy biting questions, you have food on you. If your puppy is like under 7-8 months old, you have food on you all the time in the house and a leash on all the time in the house. Leash your puppy up when they come out of crate. It's your job to set the expectation of energy when they enter into the home. And we don't want any of that bolting out of crate. So they're leashed up, let's go, they're brought out of crate, they're put back in if they bolt out, and you're working your puppy from the beginning. Now, in that moment where you're not working your puppy and your kid runs through or something like that, and the puppy does start to nip and bite, everybody should freeze. Teach your kids to freeze and freeze their limbs and just like fold their limbs in and freeze and call for mom or dad.
Make like a tree.
Make like a tree.
And stand still.
If it's you guys, if it's, the adults, you're going to freeze and you're going to bump into your dog. If they're jumping up on you, bump into them, pause, pick up the leash, do pressure up, out, and away from you if they're still got a hold of a pant leg or anything like that. Because I'm telling you, when you've got flat collar is okay inside, for some dogs, but if you're having a more serious issue, then I would definitely go martingale slip leash. But anyway, it's up, out, and away from you, and they will let go. You just wait patiently. You don't lift them way up off the ground. Your shoulder, you should never be above your shoulder. You're just pressure just until they are oh, there's something happening, and they just let go. Stop adding confrontation to it of no, ow.
You're seeking boredom. You're waiting for them to get bored enough
and let go.
To let go and then sit.
And you're making it no fun. It's don't chase a dog across the house that picked up a sock. They'll just learn to eat socks really quickly.
Yep.
And then on the flip side, you have food on you, so you're redirecting with food all the time. So if they typically bite you in the mornings on their way out to potty, or when the kids come home because they've gotten so excited, you know that about them. They're on leash next to you. You've got your treat pouch, and you're doing sit every 5 seconds. You take 5 steps, stop and sit food. Teach them the expectation for how you want them to be. Now, if it's for petting, that's a whole different thing. So there's so many contexts to puppy biting. Please keep that in mind, and please make sure that you are not representing a ton of excitement to your puppy, because that is just really confusing. Excitement is not looked at very favorably in the dog world. Usually that leads to playing and biting or being corrected. And so that is very confusing for your puppy. Calm, confident leadership 90% of the time, and you can teach your kids the same thing. It's pretty great. But in the meantime, leash and food. Do you got anything to follow up on it?
Not for that one. I just got a couple good ones for
let's go
Instagram or for TikTok.
Over some TikTok.
Sorry, I got a
we
dog in my
were
mouth.
neglecting you. I know you got distracted. I knew it was because of her. We've been neglecting you. I'm sorry. So
that's because I keep forgetting to open it up. I thought you were doing TikTok this whole time.
I don't know why. I haven't in the last 150.
I'm moving on.
153 episodes. Go ahead. We're waiting.
Called me out. Made me do the duck face. All right. We got it. All right. This is from. You got to hold her. She's too damn cute. She keeps licking my nose when I try to talk.
Do you like Sparky?
All right. From Sarah Buttoncourt or something. Sorry, I messed it up. I don't know what I did.
Okay.
Get rid of it.
There you go.
Thank you. All right. How long is it okay to leave a 3-month-old puppy in a crate? Every dog is a little bit different. If it's a large breed, you're going to get maybe an extra 30 minutes to an hour out of them. What do they do? Oh, chewing cords.
Nothing. Not doing anything. I think Schmores needs a snack.
But her mom was watching.
Bye, S'mores.
Again. If I have a large breed puppy, 3 months old, I might get an hour and a half, maybe 2 if they're really good at holding it. If I have a small breed puppy, I'm probably shooting for maybe an hour to an hour and a half, something around there. Roll with that. See how it goes.
Yeah,
Try it out.
And build on it. Some 3-month-old puppies can do 3 hours, no problem.
To give you an idea, every 2 weeks we give new schedules to our owners, and it usually goes up anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour for crate and or free time. That's it. Yeah.
Cool.
Wait, there's more. That was a quick one. No, I want
Nelly has a quick one.
No.
All
right. Phase 2 of her last heat. What does that mean?
Phase 2 of her last heat, super hormonal, barks and howls all night. I miss the puppy blues. Oh, I know. Yeah,
last heat because you're only going to get 1 heat cycle.
Yes, sometimes that happens. Dogs can even become aggressive. Yeah.
I've seen it too because they're seeking out companionship. of a particular nature.
And I've seen it where they're guarding their space like crazy because they want everyone to leave them alone.
Yep,
Yeah.
I've seen that as well. Samantha Brooke, our puppy does great in the crate during the day, but cries and howls like crazy at night. Any tips? That's weird. That's a little bit more rare.
Yes,
Usually it's the opposite. Yeah.
Is it with you in the room? Because if it is, maybe try in a completely different room of the house. You might be keeping her awake, your puppy awake. One of you might snore or move around a lot and not realize it and keep waking her up. Or just being in the same room with you might be overstimulating for her. So maybe try just a different room if you're not.
We have a dog that once in a while sleeps on bed with us. She never makes it a full night because I kick her right in the head every single night while sleeping. Most time we're the ones waking up our dogs. Even if you just get up at 2 a.m. to go use the restroom, they're using the restroom too at 2 a.m. So it makes your job a little bit easier to move the crate out of the room. And if they're already out of the room, you might want to put them in the room so they can start pulling your circadian rhythm. Is that what it's called?
Circadian rhythm. Well, there's cicadas and circadium. I believe that's right. Cicadas are like all over Illinois right now, like attacking my family.
I thought it was circadia rhythm.
Circadium. We will find out after this, but cicada is the bug, and circadium. Yeah. Wait, was that me or you? I don't remember.
I don't remember anymore. You can have this one.
SMRT. Okay.
You have a good one?
Yes. Nellie says, any tips for a clingy 6-month-old Cavapoo? He cries every time I leave the room, even when he can still see me. He also wants to chew all the toys while being on me, no matter if I'm sitting or standing. So there's Nellie, there's a lot of anxiety happening here. That is a lot of red flags that doesn't even have to do with the whining when you leave the room. I know that's the big nuisance. I get that. But the chewing thing, the needing to chew, I just came across a golden doodle that was like this. And that's a lot of anxiety, the inability to be bored. I highly suggest getting into, before this gets worse and starts to spill over into other areas, to get on some sort of program with either a local or an online school. That way you're getting feedback and you've got milestones to hit.
I don't recommend a group training program. I recommend a private training program, not group class.
Yes, I mean, it kind of depends on where you are, what you have available, but yeah, private's always better. But for the first stage, second stage, group is great. But anyway, what I would suggest in the meantime, things to look out for is, I want all of the toys and bones, get them out and away from the puppy. But not only that, go get just like a cheap toy box and put them all in there and make sure the puppy can't get into them. It's like it's strong enough the puppy can't get in on their own. And you bring out the toy. You play with the dog during playtime, and then you put everything away. Once you've taught your puppy to go to their dog bed next to you, lay down and stay, and they can do 15 minutes and hang out, then they can have a nylabone for 20 minutes. Or a Kong, not a plushie toy to just like mouth. But like, start working with them on earning, some of this stuff. It sounds like your puppy needs more mental work, maybe more exercise too, just to get them over the hump. Like, spend the next month doing like double the training and double the exercise, and then bring them back down on not the mental work, but the exercise, to get them over this anxious hump. What else? Let's see, whining when you leave the room. Online
school. We have so many videos that discuss this. I mean, tons of videos. Separation anxiety, proper handling of puppies, proper play with puppies, how to introduce place command. You need a really good place command. You need to first work your dog into a state where they want to work and they want to earn something from you. They no longer just expect to be able to sit on your lap and chew on their toy. You got to do some reversal. I know she mentioned a few red flags. I could see that. I mean, you need to reverse the thought process of your dog so they want to work for you and with you instead of you having to work for them. They're making you a table right now for their toy chewing.
Yeah.
So you need to change that relationship.
I would also, with everything we mentioned, I would also spend the next, not 2 weeks, the next month, because I mentioned like a month upping exercise and mental work, like doubling it basically, training and mental work. I would also do 2 weeks, no holding the puppy in my lap. I might go down to the floor and pet my puppy, but then calm them back down again after. That's a very important step for all puppies, not just ones with anxiety.
The leash pressure business that she was talking about earlier, when you give a pet from here and then you stop, the dog will jump.
Yeah.
That's the leash pressure she was mentioning earlier.
Because you're creating that forward motion brain. So then you have to know how to settle that brain back down, either with body language, leash, food work. We do a combo of everything. So, all right. So hopefully that gives you quite a big intro into it. And then Julie, we will contact you about the bonus area.
All right, this is from Allie Olson. My pup won't sleep on his own. We have to put him down for nap time. Is that normal? Yes, that's completely normal. That's why we get dogs on crate routines, crate schedules. And if anyone needs one, you can look in our little description bar on Instagram or TikTok. And we have a little blog post for you to check out the schedule on.
I love this. Cuckoo for Coconut was the reply for where our puppy biting is in the online school. She's our mascot. Coconut's our mascot. She's a cute little thing. It is listed as the puppy biting bonus boot camp. It's the first item you'll see in our resource and bonus section of the online school. Okay, cool. And Julie got it, yay. But just for any of you, on there, just so you know, because I know we have a lot of people who watch this as well as our 4 p.m. Okay, Lisa says, 6-month-old Maltese was neutered 2 weeks ago and is barking and nipping at me when I sit on the sofa at night when he's supposed to be settling. It's only occurring at night. Definitely, even though neutering is like more minor compared to spaying, it is still considered like a bit of a traumatic event for the dog. We won't go into why. I mean, I think it's obvious. Yeah. So I saw that. So anyway, sometimes puppies are even babied a little bit. Like after that happens accidentally, it could be a number of things. It could just be hormonal. You're basically
that first one.
Yeah.
You should use the first one.
So honestly, you just gotta up your game of structure. So the structure that you've kind of worn off of, as far as being on the couch and things like that, you just gotta double down, go back to some puppy structure for 2 weeks, and I bet that resolves most of it.
And if it doesn't, they don't get couch privileges anymore. Yeah. Very common with small dogs to start guarding a certain portion of the couch that they're comfortable in. I gotta be honest, I get one growl, my dog's off the couch for 2 months. But maybe I'm more strict. You are strict. I mean, we're talking about puppy hair. It's very hard for a puppy. But was it a puppy, or I thought the dog was 6 months old? Okay.
Well, it's an adolescent puppy.
Adolescent.
I was gonna say some of this could be also some adolescence, creeping in, and you do have to be firmer. Like you have to change up your game. Puppies change so quickly. They go from 0 to 18 for a human in their first 2 years.
Your dog's in preteens right now.
Yeah, so you're
and
adapting.
And the next month, they're basically a teenager / young adult.
Oh, he's on the floor when he does this. Oh yeah, she said when she sits on the floor. So I have a question.
That's the couch.
So I have a question. When you sit down, I love doing this test with people, mostly because it just kind of opens their eyes for like how their ability to set boundaries for their dog, looks like. I said that improperly, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So you sit on the floor with your dog or puppy, it doesn't matter the age, and just sit down with your legs crossed. And see if you can say no and send them away. And see if they'll respect that. A lot of times bumping into your dog, like, no, knock it off. A lot of times they won't respect arms. And you actually have to get up on your knees, move into them, try to sit back down again. Some dogs you gotta stand up fully, move into them, sit back down again, get up, move into them. And really, can you teach the brain to go backwards with such a huge distraction like you on the floor? I would do that first. And I would have a leash on the dog in case the dog started to do zoomies, because we see that. And then I would start to do some food work, like after that, like once I get that boundary established. And you may not even on your first try. It's really hard sometimes. My crazy dog, Archie, the one that I mentioned that I trained earlier today, same thing. We put him in a sit, stood right in front of him. He was facing us. Once he sat, I took a step to the side and opened the path for him if he chose to take it. And it took about 6 of those before I could open the path and he would stay sitting. And then even giving eye contact, waiting for food. You're making an emotional and mental connection between your dog and you. That way they're not acting on their base instinct and they're only their impulses. This is how we get impulse control. Yeah. Laura says, do I have time? Yes. Laura says, I have a 6-month-old Aussie. Yay, Aussies. Who have started bolting at birds and squirrels. Yep, it's about that time, if it hasn't happened already.
6 months? That's late.
Well, I mean, honestly, like if you see those videos of Aussies and Border Collies that are 8 weeks old chasing sheep, Genetics, baby. All right, on and off leash. He won't take a treat when on leash. Well, yeah, because the squirrel is the treat.
Yeah, it's a more valuable treat than you, I'm sorry to say, in that moment.
And he won't continue moving on a walk. Honestly, for me, for a 6-month-old, this is a hard, like tug of the leash, let's go, change direction and walk, preferably before the squirrel is running. So you go after arousal, not the chase. If the dog is already chasing, you're just in damage control.
Arousal is ears, tail, back straight, body freezes, mouth shut, stiffness, ears forward, pointed. You got a lot of different
There's a lot of those different checks. Like the big one with an Aussie, they don't have a tail, remember?
I know. I was even going to ask you, what are the Aussie ones? Because you work way more
What
Aussies
I'm looking for an Aussie or a Border Collie, it's the freeze, it's the ear forward, because like their ears are a little
They actually
like
point forward.
And then the that like zone in, and I'm immediately like, nope, let's go, and I'm doing a redirect. And I'm getting enough, that's all the stray cats in the neighborhood. And I'm also doing it off of people because I don't want to just do it when it's hard. I want to train my intensity changes, but I want to train my puppy to defer to me with all distractions. Like you do not feed off of your environment right now. When we go to the park and we're on a long line and you have permission, that's different. But on neighborhood walk, that's not happening. So everything is a redirect. And then you will get a certain distance where you can work with food if you want. But 6 months old, combination of genetics, that's tricky. Sometimes he'll never take food. And honestly, that's okay with me. We're still moving and you're still following me. And so that's how I'd handle that moment. There's a lot of stuff at home that could probably be tweaked too, but that moment, that's how I'd target that.
My big thing for the walk is if you're doing heel and you're that far like into your walk, you get to the point to where they start just pulling like crazy. Let's go. You got to work them down.
Yeah.
I mean, Bean, one of our dogs that just graduated a few weeks ago, Aussie as well. I'm telling you, it was...
A real Aussie,
yeah,
not a fake Aussie.
A true Aussie. Like a
Aussie.
working ability dog.
Yeah.
And yeah, it took us 3 months, the entire program, for her to be able to look at a squirrel and me to be, hey, normally be a lot louder, but...
And then he'd be like, what?
Her ears. And the dog is like, oh, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
But before, you could have done a bomb and it wouldn't matter.
Relationship, habit, repetitions, home relationship.
And the only reason I even brought that up, 3 months with a professional crew of dog trainers working 3 days a week for 12 hours a day with this dog, and it took 3 months to do it. So Aussies are difficult. It does take a while. That's the only reason I said that. It takes a while to train it.
We got some feedback, and we always love feedback,
Good
so we
feedback
kind of want to address that. Lisa, well, where's your question, Lisa?
She was the one who was on the couch and the dog was on the floor and got neutered.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
well, we
he
also
does this,
butchered your question too.
He
and assumed it was the couch.
No, you did. I did. He does this even after exercise training, playing bones. Well, the only thing in there that would help him maybe with nipping and biting is training. Exercise, playing, and bones is all adrenalizing his brain and causing him to be stimulated.
So it's creating more of a problem. So she says he even does it during all these things?
After. Like in her head, like most people, exercise, training, chew time, playing, and my dog is still nipping and biting me. I'm like, that's because the only thing that is potentially helping him be calm maybe is training, and that's if you're doing it in a way that builds impulse control rather than drive. And so all of these things isn't really what is going to help you with the situation. Mental work and teaching boundaries, a valuable no, like that's where it's at.
And you have a great window. They just got spayed, right? The dog just got neutered.
I think we're confusing them now. I'm sorry.
Oh well, Kimberly thought she was helping, but she's not. So
what's happening right now? What question is this?
It's okay. It's okay. So
she just posted a new one.
Either
Will you scroll down?
Lisa, you're on here.
Lisa,
bless
please.
your heart.
Will be helped in some way.
I'm trying to explain all the activities that tire him through the day. But the problem is most of the activities you mentioned could just be creating overstimulating him, creating cardiovascular endurance.
We think that exercise tires out dogs, and I'm going to tell you, it will physically tire them out after about 10 to 15 miles in a go. And then they're going to get home, and I'm not trying to be passive aggressive.
It's like the daycare dogs.
They will sleep for 15 to 30 minutes and be full energy again. What the training will do...
Or the daycare dogs that pass out the rest of the night, and then they're nightmares the next morning.
Yeah. The training is different because what the training does is it specifically targets parts of the brain and it helps them.
Focus.
Thank you. Targets parts of the brain that help them focus, and it actually settles them down and allows
It's
you to.
supposed to.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. It's supposed to, but it's your boundaries. It's all the routines. Just so you know, if you're ever training and you're bored, keep it up. You're doing it right because you're doing training that's supposed to help the dog learn to be bored and be okay with it. Because right now it sounds like they're struggling to do that. So that's why you're getting some of that reactivity and some of the nipping at the hands. They feel overstimulated. You need to work them into a calmer state. Am I on the right question? Please, God, tell me.
I don't know. I can't even find our original
I'm so
question. I have another
confused
one though, but I'm sure. Like, let's put that one to bed. I want to squeeze in one more. Oh, it's 8:30. I didn't realize that. Well, we were late. So, I know Team Spice Dogs. Hi, Vanilla. Okay, 8-month-old yellow lab. When we go to the shopping center to work on her leash work, it's so hard to get from the car to the sidewalk. This is like Debbie with her King Charles Cavalier. Not the fastest place to keep, not the best place, I'm guessing, to keep like turning her around and redirecting her. Ooh, that's a good point. Okay, I got some stuff. Okay, so yeah, I know it's a little hard. You have to reread it. She's saying that like it's not safe, to work our typical let's go work. For me, for an 8-month-old lab, or for even a young puppy, there are 2 ways I'm gonna slow them down. They're gonna go in and out of the car several times. For an 8-month-old lab, I might not use sit, and I might just I'll have them pause, of course, always pause at the door. But when I say let's go and they fly out, because I know Vanilla, I know Vanilla's on a tool. I'll just let her, if she even does, she might just hit the end of the tool and then be like, oh, hi, Mom. Be like, hey, Vanilla, get back in the car. And we'll just repeat this process again and again. With a younger puppy, under 6 months old, the only change is I'm not doing that. I'm not setting up the puppy to run and hit the end of the leash. I will, redirect the puppy calmly into a sit, out of the car and then back in the car, out of the car, back in the car until I see the excitement calm down. Then, to be honest, I'm gonna power through the parking lot. But before I go in the shopping center, I'm gonna work them in front of the shopping center. That's how I would manage that. So it's still not gonna be pretty in the faster paced driving area. But don't just let your dog come out of the car and go. Work the dog on the car. You can even work around the car, I guess. But I like in and out, in and out, in and out. And then power through that moment and then work in front of the center. You got anything else to add?
Did you just give this dog a nickname, Vanilla?
No, her name is, right? Yeah, Team Spice Dogs. This is Vanilla. She didn't say it, but it's Vanilla. She has Ginger, Pepper, and Vanilla.
This is someone you know.
What makes you say that? All right, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm leaving. I don't know what's happening. First the double question, then this. I don't know what's happening today. I'm sorry.
All right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you same time, same place next week.
See you guys.
Bye.
Oh, you're going to wait for that.